Hi everyone, today we're doing a review of Igor, Tyler the Creator's sixth and latest album. It features a variety of artists such as Lil Uzi, Solange, Kanye West, and others. While you would typically expect a rap album from Tyler, this album was different. He wrote in a tweet prior to its release, saying, "Don't go in expecting a rap album. Don't go into this expecting any album. Just go, jump into it. I believe the first listen works best all the way through, no skips, front to back," which I did. This album debuted at number 1 on US Billboard 200, and this landed its spot as Tyler's first number 1 US album. Production began in 2017 when he wrote Earthquake for Justin Bieber and Rihanna, who both turned down the song. The general consensus is that the genre of this album is hip-hop/rap, but I personally agree more with Rolling Stone's label for it, which is a melange of R&B, funk, and rap. The album spans only 39 minutes, but in that time it managed to portray heartbreak and anguish in a way that wasn't cliche. It bounced from feelings of longing, like in the song Running Out of Time, to hatred in A Boy Is a Gun. While the instrumentals to this album are unique, both in comparison to previous Tyler albums and other tracks in general, it still featured samples primarily from the 70s and 80s, which gave it a nostalgic feeling that really tugged on the heartstrings. I really like this myself because if used right like it had been in this album, using old sounds can add to a track instead of making it sound like a copy of it. The album's story can be summarized as it following a love triangle in which Tyler is seeing someone who is still seeing their ex-girlfriend. While I honestly haven't listened to much Tyler before this album, there's a distinct difference between the sound of this one compared to previous releases. Angry, aggressive beats and delivery of lyrics have now switched to slow, more soulful music. His usual pitched-down vocals has also switched to some falsettos and higher singing, which is an interesting change of pace. However, typical pitched-down deliveries are still present and occasionally pop up, particularly from the voice of Igor, which is a character that the album is named after. From what I've read and understand, the character of Igor is the angrier, more resentful side of heartbreak. Whereas in this album, Tyler portrays a softer, more longing edge. These two personas have a clear tension between them, but rather than fighting, they are both left to pick up the pieces together after a heartbreak. I personally believe that while this is a sharp contrast to what most people expect of him, I think that this doesn't replace his previous sound, but instead adds more dimension and uniqueness to his repertoire. All in all, I really do like how this album sounds and how much it differs compared to his previous songs. It shows his growth as both an artist and a person, and for that I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. Not a perfect score, because while I do like the samples and the nod to some of Tyler's musical influences, I feel like at times it was very purposeful and honestly quite obvious. I also wish that some tracks were more structured and developed, but overall it really was a really fantastic listen. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you liked the review.